Joining me for a chat today is IndyCar ace Will Power. Now, Will, unfortunately, you're not joining us for the iRacing, but the positive of that is because you're going to get back to real racing, 6th of June for you. That's brilliant news that you can get back so soon.
Yeah, really, really happy to get back racing, to be honest. The first race will be without fans, but, I'm sure a lot of people will be watching on TV. And I think everyone's feeling the same. We just want to get back to real racing, although iRacing's a lot of fun. Definitely have enjoyed the race I did in IndyCar and the supercars. But now it's time to focus forward and go for a championship.
How much did you get up to while you were in lockdown? Did you do much racing other than those ones that you're saying about? Was there a fair bit of time spent on it?
I tell you, when we're doing the IndyCar stuff, you have to spend so much time because everyone has a sim in their house, so you can just sit on it all day. And it was nuts how much time you had to spend to be competitive. So yeah, I started asking, can we just announce the track like the day before, so every 24 hours, because I got wife and kids, and you just haven't got time to be sitting down in your basement all that time. But it was fun, definitely fun. I still jump on, do a few races here and there, but starting to do a bit of karting and everything, get my body ready for some real G-forces.
Good stuff. Can you, though, see the benefit for young drivers, and actually any driver, to be doing that style of racing just to keep up and keep in there for when you do finally get back in a car?
I do. I think it's a great platform for young guys to really learn about cars, setup options, and the fact that you're actually racing real life people. So they're making human decisions, and they're the sort of decisions and mistakes people make in races. And you can really work on so many different areas of your racing online. I think iRacing has done a fantastic job creating a simulation that's so real. And, I just couldn't imagine of having that when I was racing in, British F3 and these junior categories. You can totally learn a track. You can even do setups. I mean, it's just such a great tool to have. Sitting in your house, in your basement, you can do any time.
Yeah, financially, that must be a massive impact, or less of one, because you're not having to get that track time and get all the people involved.
Exactly. And, that's why, you've seen all the Formula One teams, or in top level motorsport, everyone has, these $10 million simulators, these massive simulators. And, I do a lot of work on the Chevy sim over here. And I can tell you, iRacing compares very favorably to that. So it just shows, what a great tool that is for such a cheap price. You're not doing, running a race car costs a lot of money. So for kids that don't have the money to do the miles, they can get a lot of racing miles just, in the house.
Now, this is the British F3 iRacing, and of course, you spent a lot of time competing in British F3. How much how big a part did it have to play in your career?
It was massive, because I left Australia thinking I was a good driver, and I turned up for my first test day in British F3 and was like 29th or something, and I just found it just totally transformed me as a driver. Obviously, the competition is way tougher. The way they race is way more aggressive. And by the time I left British F3, I was a much faster and more complete driver. So, I just, and it had such history too in the sport. How many people have been through British F3 and gone on to race in Formula One and even become Formula One world champs. So, it's fantastic to see that it's still going in Britain, and also in Europe as well with Euro F3. I think it's such a good formula, and it's essential for young guys to get their grounding in a competitive situation like that.
You're now in the US. How does that differ? How does racing differ from going from Australia to Europe to the US?
Well, there isn't really a big open wheel scene in Australia. V8 supercars are very competitive. Obviously a totally different beast to drive. So if you want to be, if you want to aim for Formula One or IndyCar, an open wheel career, you really need to go to Europe, England, Europe to race. So, it was, I just thought England was, for me, such a great place because there's just so much motorsport there, and it's all based around open wheel racing in Formula One. And then getting the opportunity to race in the US and Indianapolis, equally so. I mean, you've got most of the IndyCar teams out of Indianapolis, and you have the Indy 500, which is, the largest single-day sporting event in the world, and obviously a massive event for us. So, a little bit different attitude, I would say. Competing in junior categories in Europe is very cutthroat. No one's really friends in the paddock. Right. In America, it's a little bit different. I guess my experience is different because I was a professional paid driver when I came there, so maybe people are a little bit nicer to each other. But the competition in IndyCar right now is the toughest it's ever been. It's super competitive, and absolutely love racing in it because everyone has a chance to win. There's no team that just takes off into the distance, and I believe that's how motorsport should be. It should be, the rules should be very, very tightly closed, so no one can outmoney people. Yeah. I just think racing should come down to the driver. It shouldn't come down so much to the equipment.
Yeah. Now, aside from driving, you've also been a driver coach recently with Better Halves Racing.
I was, yeah. Kind of makes me realize how far I've come as a driver. It was good. I mean, she did a good job. It was obviously on an oval, and there was only one corner you had to lift a little bit in, and she got very competitive about it. She understands a little bit of what I go through now because she used to wonder why I was so stressed out about winning races and this sort of thing, and she got a taste of that. But that was very interesting. It was more stressful for me than being in the car. When I was sitting, I'd sit beside her for every session and for the race, and kind of guide her on what to do. But she did a good job. She got really good at avoiding accidents, and finished fourth in the first race and then wrecked out in the second. But coaching's interesting. I actually think you learn a bit about yourself when you coach people, when you have to verbalize how something is done. It's more difficult than you think.
Yeah, what comes naturally to you, you have to explain it.
Yes, exactly. To put it in words is quite hard, and actually it helps you in a way because you understand the process of what you're doing a little better when it's verbalized. So
maybe you'll get her in the seat a few more times. Maybe start competing.
I don't think she'll do. Unless there's another wives race, she's not wired that way. She's not like me, who wants to be down there competing all the time. But she enjoyed it for the one time.
Well, thanks very much for joining us. And of course, British F3 iRacing is taking place at Silverstone this weekend. So can we still tempt you, maybe?
Yes, actually, I love that track, and I know it in F3. So yeah, good chance I could do that one. That would be really cool.
If you can, that would be awesome.
Yep, I'm gonna try and make that one. So
all right.
Hopefully I'm there.
Maybe we'll see you on the grid then. Thanks very much, Will.
Excellent. Awesome.